I loved you then, I love you now, and I will continue loving you until I can no longer.
You took a part of me until I had nothing left.
The old me had to die so the new me could be reborn.
I didn't deserve that pain. I deserve love, just not from her.
Today, I choose myself.
I wanted to tell you, but you weren't there.
These are the stories that I wish you heard. Streaming weekly episodes on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and Google Podcasts.
If you like this episode, please rate the podcast 5 stars, 6 and take it home. This podcast is a member of Bun Collective.
Welcome to your unfiltered Tagalog Wrestling Podcast. And this is the MTV Show Podcast, a wrestling podcast. It's Friday, you know what that means. Welcome to your unfiltered Tagalog Wrestling Podcast. And this is the MTV Show Podcast, a wrestling podcast. Pew, 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 pew. I'm so fucking cringed on that. Yeah. So, welcome back to the show. And, ayan, it's gonna be a lot of talk here. So, originally, dapat ang pag-uusapan natin, ngayon lang, dapat ito separated episodes, featuring the Ring of Honor event and the upcoming SummerSlam pay-per-view, premium live event. Yung Death Before Dishonor. Dapat isi-separate natin yun. Pero, in this case, fuck them. We changed some plans here. Nagsulat na rin ako ng revised scripts for today actually. And so we're going to talk about SummerSlam. We're going to talk about some Ric Flair thing. We're going to talk about the Death Before Dishonor. Hindi na mahabang review kasi it's too long. Fantastic matches. I'm going to say na you should watch the whole thing talaga, no? Kahit yung Joe Lethal, you should watch it. No. Yun. So, yun lang ating pag-uusapan. Then, yung mga news, yung mga nangyari, 4 days ago, yung mga nangyari 4 days ago, we're going to talk about that in this week's episode of the podcast. But before that, let's go. wala na tayo masyadong plugs. Let's start with this important announcement. So, Vince McMahon retired 1 week ago. And Stephanie McMahon and Nick Khan assumed his position. So, originally, Vince McMahon is the CEO and the head of creative in WWE. So, on Friday, on that day, Vince McMahon retired because of course of his allegations and yung mga ganap sa kanya within the ring in WWE in general. There's a lot of factors to check about Vince McMahon's thing. And ayun, simple lang naman ang sasabihin ko. Hindi ko na ito tiniktok kasi maikli lang naman yung thoughts ko. Vince McMahon, Mr. McMahon, siya yung nagpaumpisa ng aking wrestling journey, pagiging wrestling fan. Vince McMahon, respected ko siya inside the ring. Yung company niya to grow. Pero yung kagaguhan niya, especially the allegations right now, I can't I can't see the respect. Hindi ko makita yung respect na gusto ko ibigay sa kanya. The same thing, I should give him respect for saving my wrestling, 'di ba? Kaya ganon yung trato ko dito. I'm not saying I'm not respecting Vince. It's more on a if you did something na wild, well, I'm not that guy. No. Hindi ako yung ganon. Na sabihin nila na kahit anong mangyari, respeto pa din ang mananaig. Ano yung mga apologies? Magkalinawan nga tayo. Di natin normalize yung mga ganyan. Mga maalabins, McMahon shit na to. Ayun. So basically yun lang. Then, so Stephanie McMahon and Nick Khan assumed their respective positions as the co-CEOs of WWE. Ito sa akin, surprising to no? Surprising to sa akin kasi Nick Khan, ba't si Nick Khan? Hindi ko ma-imagine. Everyone thoughts that Steph lang ang mauupong CEO after Vince. Everyone thought Steph lang ang mapapalit, hindi si Nick. But there's Nick Khan pulling the strings and doing business as usual. Kala mo yun, in 2 years, mas malaki na yung na-pull niyang strings over Tony Khan. And it's funny, of course, to see Nick Khan from 2 years of his role in WWE, nandun na siya sa top. Di na ano yan. Pero sobrang laking jump nun. No? Sa role niya. In general, of course. Then, si Stephanie naman, well-deserved, I guess. Kasi, it's a long time coming din na magpalit ng admin dito sa WWE. Ng roles like that. And now, we're seeing improvements then on the roles, di ba? Stephanie is parang mas maluwag kumpara kay Vince. Nick ka, hindi ko pa nakikita si Nick kasi di naman siya nagpaparamdam masyado. Mas naramdam natin on TV si Steph, as far as I know. Then, let's go to the bigger news. So, Triple H is now the head creative of WWE. He replaced Vince and nag-assume na ulit siya doon sa role niya as EVP. And yung, of course nga ito, head of creative. Ayun. By the way, happy birthday, Triple H. Ayun. So, simple lang naman ang akin. Kasi marami tayong pwedeng i-pitch. No? Pwede tayo mag-pitch ng idea about Triple H bringing back talents. Maybe Triple H bringing back the names of Vince's job. Yung mga pinaggagawa ni Vince on some names like Gunta, like yung kay Butch, like yung mga putahan ni Vince, no? Pwedeng mag-pull si Triple H ng strings just to restore them, And malamang sa malamang, marami ding pwedeng mangyari within few days. Pero yung mga napanood natin sa Raw, mamaya i-review natin ng konti. Yung Raw, hindi pa yan sinulat ni Vince. FYI sa mga dilinaw dito, Hindi pa si Vince, hindi pa si H ang nagsulat ng Raw. It's Vince. And kinumpas na lang yan ni Triple H. So, maganda yung execution ni Triple H dito. It's all good. Ayun. Ayun. So, let's talk about one more thing before we go to Raw or SmackDown. Ric Flair. So, Ric Flair, gusto niya daw Moonsault just like Charlotte. Sir, just an heads up. Gusto mo bang patayin sarili mo? sorry, trigger warning ito. Pero I'm serious on that. Do you want to kill yourself? Because that's what I'm seeing here. You're already in your 70s. And imagine mo yung gagawa ka ng ng monosault like that. I don't know, it's weird. It's inappropriate. Then Charlotte stop him. So good. Pero sana putang ina talaga nito ni Ric Flair. And syempre, yung retirement match. I'm not going to talk about it pa. Pero sana naman pag natapos na tong match na to, walang sumabit, walang disaster. Eh pagkatapos ito makapag-retire na si Rick in his own way or his own pace. Baka naman mamaya balik na naman WWE yan and magko-compete pa. Eh hindi na yun. Dapat hindi na talaga. Give the motherfucking moments to the current talents. No? Ganun lang. Then, okay. So, today is Friday, yes. And tomorrow is SmackDown then. So, let's talk about some SmackDown developments. So, isa lang yung development natin. Wala masyado kailangang pag-usapan on the rest. And connected naman na sa SummerSlam yung iba. So, let's start with Ludwig Kaiser and Gunther. So, akala ng lahat, makakalampas na si Ludwig Kaiser doon sa chop punishment ni Gunther. Kasi alam niyo naman yung gimmick niya na kailangan dominant siya and meron siyang low-key weak link in Ludwig Kaiser. So, ito naman si Ludwig ngayon, parang about dito. Siya yung nagmumukhang weak link dito. Kasi pinapatalo niya binibigo niya si Gunther. Ganito yung role niya. And I love it. Ewan ko ba't nai-impress ako on this duo doing this stunt or this role na dominant then there's a weak link in Ludwig. I'm glad to see this kind of dynamic duo again in the company. And ewan ko nga, hindi pa naman natin pwede sabihin na Gunther can dethroned or gets dethroned by somebody. Not today, not now. Pero, definitely, naglo-look forward ako sa mga possible matches nito ni Gunther. Whatever on TV or events, siguro naman sa September, probably magkakaroon yan for sure. Kasi it's a UK naman kasi talaga si Gunther. Then, pa. So, yun lang. Basically, lahat naman ng pag-uusapan natin mamaya sa SummerSlam related na doon. No? So, next, the first Raw without Vince McMahon. Without Vince McMahon, yes. As a CEO. Pero, siya pa yung nagsulat ng Raw for this week. So, there's a lot. Siyempre, nagsimula yung Raw in the Brawl. Then, there's a lot of happenings on this week's Raw. So, less previews, less recaps, and more action. I'm glad to see this type of Raw. Sobrang bihira ng ganito. No? Sobrang desire na makakita ako ng ganitong Raw. And I'm glad that I watched this week's Raw. Walang bago na development, yes. Pero yung on the how they book the show, yes, it's still Vince McMahon. Pero on the way Triple H took over everything on this, it's so parang binibigyan na tayo ng preview on what's to come on his Raw. Kasi alam niyo naman si H, he likes competition. And he likes the storytelling like this. Pero, linawin ko sa inyo, hindi pa naman ito yung first era ni Triple H. Malalaman natin yung Triple H Wrath pagka siya na yung talaga sa SummerSlam or sa SummerSlam after Raw or after SummerSlam SmackDown. Ganon. Doon natin malalaman yung totoong ikot ng storytelling. And mamaya, pag-usapan natin malamang na malamang doon sa SummerSlam. There's a lot. No? There's a lot of things we need to talk about on this week's podcast. Then, ano pa ba? So, let's talk about Logan Paul. So, si Logan Paul, sabi ko last week, I'm not impressed on this guy kasi is more talk as a babyface. Parang mas marami pa siyang talk na ganito as a babyface. And sobrang awkward to see him as a babyface. Them, to add. Pero, there's a lot of improvements kumpara last week. Like what I said, this guy, never ko to sinuportahan. Kahit sa boxing niya o sa YouTube niya, never ko to sinuportahan. Never ako naging fan ng guy na to. And, this Logan Paul is definitely an improvement from his idiotic things na ginagawa niya na before. And, that's a big, big improvement. Kung ikukumpara nyo si Logan Paul from that, this Logan Paul is definitely better. Diba? Diyos ko, kahit ano nga yung palabas natin dyan, Logan Paul is still Logan Paul. But, I love this Logan Paul. Definitely better. And the man is respecting the business. So, nirerespeto ni Paul yung business na to. On the way that he competes or on the way they're doing his job. And I like it. Ganun dapat kasi the fans loving him as a babyface. Sobrang awkward nga lang ng execution, you know. If you know, you know. And ayun, Logan Paul is Logan Paul. Ayun, so dagdag ko lang sa mga nawala doon sa Raw. Wala na rin 24/7. Wala. Yung segment na yun. Ano? Ewan ko saan pwede masingit ni H yun. Pero, tingnan natin. There's a lot of room pa naman for Raw. And marami ding magagawa si H dito. Aside from the creative side, kundi doon sa TV alone. Yung sa TV pa nga lang, marami na siyang pwedeng magawa. Or magagawa. Diba? Ayun. So, balik tayo sa Raw. Let's talk about the main event. So, yung main event na to, Bloodline versus Street Profits and Riddle. And I must say na it's not a bad main event. Sobrang impressed ako on this main event. I'm not saying it's, great. Pero, on the way they executed this main event, it's so fucking good. It's so nice to see Roman back on TV. Bihirang-bihira ito, na si Triple H lang yung nakapag-pull ng strings to put Roman on TV. Alay mo yun. Wow. Kasi si Vince, di niya nagagawa yun. Like, holy shit. Is Vince milking Roman? Like, magantay kayo dyan 1 taon bago nyo makita si Roman Reigns. Like, who the fuck thinks like that? Diba? Diba? Diyos ko. Triple H. Ang galing ng utak niya dito na si Roman, dapat nakikita namin yan weekly. Pero hindi namin siya nakikita weekly. Like, what the fuck is going on here? And sobrang genius naman niya dito. At least we saw him on TV again. And I'm glad na ginawa nila yung best love for Logan Paul, of course. Of Logan Paul. And Triple H, and syempre kay Roman din na napag-compete nyo siya on TV. I'm glad to see that. Kasi, aside naman doon na go-home show din naman to for SummerSlam. So, yeah. Yep. Then, wala na tayo masyadong talk about SummerSlam, about Raw. Let's talk about NXT since the second part will be SummerSlam at saka AEW. Magta-transition tayo doon hanggang Ring of Honor. So yung NXT this week is kinda big kasi in-announce na rin nila yung NXT Heatwave. Okay. NXT Heatwave, in-announce nila yan for August 16, 17 in Manila. So, there's a lot of developments. Number 1, Mandy Rose is now the number one contender. So, Stark is now the number 1 contender for the women's title. Then she will defend or she will challenge Mandy Rose for the NXT Women's Championship at NXT Heatwave. So, hindi ako nag-expect ng title change dito. Totoo lang. I'm not expecting title change here. Ewan ko kung kayo, kung nag-expect kayo ng title change, I don't give a fuck. Pero, dapat ba tayo mag-expect ng title change? Or, antayin na natin si Nikita at si Roxanne. Ganun lang naman eh. So, Roxanne, waiting na lang yan on the horizon after nitong feud niya versus Cora. Pero for sure, we're gonna get a crowning moment for Roxanne. For sure. Then, ayan, ewan ko, I'm so fucking impressed on Giovanni Vinci lately. Then, nag-compete siya in a match versus Chase. Andre Chase, ayun. Andre, kasabihin ko sana Chase Owens. Ayun, he competed against Chase. Andre Chase, ayan. Fuck, putik na naman yung ayun, nag-compete siya against Chase. Putang ina naman. Fuck. Okay, against Andre Chase. And I'm going to say na it's okay. It's a fantastic match in my opinion. Mas maganda yung showing of the gimmick niya ni Giovanni Di Vinci. Former Fabian Aichner. I must say it's a improvement talaga. Sobrang laking improvement na to na mas nakikita natin yung wrestling skills ni Fabian or Giovanni. Sobrang laki ng upgrade. I must say upgrade kasi it is what it is. Upgrade talaga ito. And so fucking good. See him compete like that or be like that. So impressive. Then, so, we got, ayun nga, so, this week's NXT, binakant na din ni Roxanne Perez yung other half of the women's tag titles. So, I'm glad they did it. And now, magkakaroon ng coronation of the new NXT Women's Tag Team Champions. Where's the script? Wait. So, next week's NXT, they're going to crown a new NXT Women's Tag Team Champion. So, it's Toxic Attraction, Gigi and JC Jane, Ivy Nile, in Tatum Paxley, Kaden Carter, and Katana Chance, and Elisa Leon and Valentina Ferros. Ito, basically, it's a four-way elimination match for the NXT Women's Tag Team titles. So, ano na, main roster? Ano na? Main roster. Asa na? Asa na yung mga women's tag titles nyo? Akala ko ito, I'm asking about this kasi vacated na yung women's tag. And Sasha and Naomi is not coming back yet. So, what's the development of this? Kasi hindi na sila naglalabas ng developments about this. Since they said na millions of WWE universe are disappointed with their actions. But where's the disappointment part? Kasi wala akong nididismaya on Sasha and Naomi. Meron masaya kasi they left. Meron masaya kasi they did what's best. And meron masaya kasi they know what they're worth. Tama? Tama naman kung alam nila yung worth nila. So, that's why they left. Simple lang. Then, eto na nga. We're going to talk about another thing in NXT. So, Diamond Mine and Tony D's pamilya. So, Tony D'Angelo, meron siyang pamilya. Minerge niya yung La Familia and Legado del Fantasma. Wala pa tayo sa part na mag-unity or maghihiwalay din yung teams na yan. Pero, nandun na tayo sa part na nagkakasundo sila. Ano? Maganda yung chemistry ng teams. To be fair. Pero, hindi talaga sila yung tipo na pwede mong mapagsama. Pero, ang weird kasi na pagsama nila na lately, na pagsasama nila dun sila sa Level Up, NXT, then doon sa 2.0, then eventually soon sa Heatwave, then soon doon sa pay-per-view na supposedly happening on September 4 daw. That's Sunday. Tama? Meron possibility. Syempre, there's a lot of quotas going on. There's a lot of holes that we need to talk about. So, yeah. Basically, that's it for our NXT and WWE talk for this week's episode of the podcast. Since magda-diverse na tayo, 2 parts SummerSlam and then yung AEW, then we're going to talk about Death Before Dishonor. So before that, let me remind you, there's an upcoming sale on Lazada. So, syempre, meron din payday sale sa Lazada. If you want to support the podcast on Lazada, you can use my link, podlink.co/6gs. Again, that's podlink.co/6gs. Again, ayun. So, malapit na yung payday sale. There's 8-8 as well. So, if you want to support the show by shopping on Lazada, you can do it using my link on the description below. So, we're going to take our first commercial break. When we come back, we're going to talk about SummerSlam, then magda-diverse na tayo on AEW, and Death Before Dishonor on this week's episode of the podcast. But for now, let's check our bunk mates here on Bunk Collective.
Picture this. 2 guys talking about true crime,
Weird mysteries.
horror stories,
But the conversation is light.
and mostly funny.
and sometimes naughty.
This is Cripsalog.
A Spotify exclusive.
I'm Gideon.
And I'm Glenn, and we're serving huge portions of horror and true crime twice a week.
We'll make sure your cravings are satisfied.
And you'll be begging for more.
Char.
Check us out.
This is Cripsalog, available exclusively on Spotify.
Bakit mabaho ang utol?
Lulubog na ba ang Pilipinas?
Mahihain ba ang makaya?
Bakit bumabagyo sa Pinas?
Mga katanungang bumabagabag sa kaisipan ni Juan, halika, bigyan natin ng mga scientificong kasagutan. Ito ang inyong gurong lakan mula sa Bulacan, Sir Red. At ito ang Hainayan na Tagham, the podcast year 2. Pakinggan sa lahat ng major podcast streaming platforms. Tara, matuto, magsaliksik, magkaroon ng dagdag na kaalaman. Hainayan, magpakailanman.
Yo! So, we're back on the podcast. So, let's continue with SummerSlam na ba tayo? Okay, SummerSlam predictions. So, there's 8 matches currently. They dropped Seth versus Riddle on the card. So, we have 8 matches on the card. So, we're going to explain some backgrounds dito, then yung mga logic natin. Okay. First thing on this year's SummerSlam, I love the graphics. Preview graphics of this year's SummerSlam. Sinabi ko na to on the Wrestling podcast, but I'm going to repeat this. I love the uniqueness of every matches nitong SummerSlam doon sa graphics nila by putting kung sino yung wrestler on that side. I'm glad that's a wonderful graphics. And let's applaud WWE marketing team for that. Kasi ang ganda ng execution ng graphics nila doon. Give them some reward. Like, oh shit. That's a big task to do na like 8 matches yan, then that's a lot. And I love how they executed the graphics here. And yeah, well deserved. Sana lang ito sa video graphics ganun din. No? Sa mga preview nila for this Sunday SummerSlam. Regardless, here we go with our predictions for this year's SummerSlam. Okay, so first thing we got Pat McAfee versus Happy Corbin or Bum-Ass Corbin. Okay, so Pat McAfee, Bum-Ass Corbin. This is a match na sobrang excited ako to see Pat McAfee compete and to see Happy Corbin put over Pat McAfee. So, Happy Corbin is a very incredible and unappreciated heel na hindi nyo talaga maintindihan but di nyo siya ma-appreciate as a heel. Kasi he deserves appreciation din. But, the way I see it, that's a well-deserved reward for Corbin na sasama siya sa mga ganitong feuds. At least this is a big feud pa din. for this year's SummerSlam. To see Happy Corbin doing this feud, feeling nila, may tiwala sila kay Corbin na they can act as a big part just like Pat McAfee does. No? And they know na if si Corbin yung magiging opponent niya dito, for sure, it's gonna be a big hit to gain for Corbin and syempre, big cheers for Pat McAfee. So that's why, and syempre, batchmates din yan. Imposible hindi magkasundo yan, di ba? Sa NFL, posibleng hindi. But regardless, my predictions for this based on the build-up, based on the Triple H logic, it should be Pat McAfee. Pat McAfee is one of the guys who brought this feud to the higher level. Happy Corbin, don't get me wrong. He is a great guy. He brought this on a higher level as well. One of the favorite feuds ng Happy Corbin gimmick is definitely this. And I love this feud by Corbin and Pat. Definitely one of my favorite Happy Corbin feuds ever. Okay, so I love this feud so far, and it goes to Pat McAfee. Then, let's talk about the Logan Paul versus The Miz. Okay, so like what I said earlier, sobrang awkward to see Logan Paul as a babyface. Sobrang awkward as in. Then, on Raw Talk, si Ciampa nag-promo siya after nung Raw, praising The Miz and bartending or binabara niya dito si Logan Paul na like they're insulting him. Tapos, ayun, maraming factors na syempre they are WWE superstar. Sinasabi nila na you're visiting our yard. And thank God, I wish Ciampa did this on the ring. I'm seeing this promo, nasa ring sila parehas. I cannot imagine what's the dynamics of those two can do if kung doon yun sa ring ginawa. Di ko talaga ma-imagine if they did that in the ring. Pero Raw Talk, kasi konti lang kasi nanonood ng Raw Talk. But, let's see. Marami pa naman pwede mangyari. Pwede nila to i-beaten. Pwede pa nila to i-extend for some months pa. Pero, it depends on Logan Paul din. Depende rin to kay Logan Paul. And Logan Paul is a good WWE guy. Magaling din sumunod. Magaling din business. So that's why I'm going to choose Logan Paul para lang matapos yung feud or para mag-continue pa to in any way, or maybe The Miz with distractions. Yun lang naman na magiging fate yan for sure. Pero for the sake of Logan Paul competing, syempre, gonna go with Logan Paul here. Logan Paul over The Miz. Then, let's talk about Mysterios and Judgment Day in a no DQ match, tag team match. So, sinabi na to on Raw earlier this week na they're competing in a no DQ. Then, ayun nga, background dito, nag-appear si Rhea Ripley back on TV, attacking Rey Mysterio, beating him up. Then, ayun na, nagtuloy-tuloy na doon sa anniversary ng career ni Rey Mysterio in WWE. And, nasa na yung heel turn down. I wish there's a down heel turn on this pay-per-view or event. If wala pa din, wag na lang siya mag-turn. akala natin, dito na natin makukuha yung heel turn niya, no? Ni Dominic. Kasi si Rey, never yan mag-turn eh. Wala akong... Si Rey kasi born to be a babyface yan eh. No? Si Dominic kaya naman mag-diverse yan eh. Si Dominic in the other hand, pwede siyang mukhang mag-turn or pwede naman siya mag-heal pero experimental since hindi siya yung mas matanda hindi siya yung mas veteran sa kanilang dalawa. Pero tingnan pa rin natin kung ano yung pwede nila mag-kumpas after SummerSlam or mismong SummerSlam din. But regardless, we're going to choose Logan. We're going to choose Judgment Day on this. Judgment Day definitely needs a win. May turn o wala, this should be a Judgment Day win Dapat manalo dito Judgment Day. Talaga. Then, let's go with the title matches. So, let's start with Bobby Lashley versus Theory for the United States title. So, syempre, Triple H mindset ako dito. Ewan ko. But we need to do the mindset of H here. So, kung pag-uusapan natin is Theory. If Theory loses the cash in later on, dapat manalo siya dito. No? Kahit manalo siya, hindi naman siya mananalo ng world title. It's fine. Ganon siguro yung ganon siguro yung gagawin nila if they're going to book this. If Lashley wins the title match, eventually it means Theory will win his cash in. Tama. Ganon man yung goal eh. Ganon man yung magiging end game. Ito. So, if Theory loses this match, it means possible manalo siya sa kanyang cash in. Pero not SummerSlam. Hindi rin sa UK. Probably sooner. Pero hindi ngayon. Hindi nila mabubook yun ngayon. Sure lang natin, basta ito, sure ko eh. If Lashley wins, it means Theory will win the world title, the main event. Or maybe Clash at the Castle, or maybe sa UK, maybe dun sa Survivor Series, or Saudi. There's a lot of factors to watch. Or maybe he won't. But regardless, I'm going to say na Theory will win on this. Theory ako. Pero hindi rin ako malulungkot if Lashley actually loses. Or maybe Lashley wins the title match. Ayun, there's a lot of factors naman to watch then on Bobby. And wala pa naman major change when he won. Pero yun, let's see pa. Marami ba tayong pwedeng mabuksan na books on the titles. No? Then, let's talk about Liv Morgan and Ronda Rousey. SmackDown Women's title. In my opinion, wala logic dito, Triple H logic. I love Ronda, don't get me wrong, no? Then Liv Morgan is not a Triple H guy, no? And para ma-put over ni Ronda si Liv, dapat manalo din si Liv dito. Ayun, si SummerSlam. Ayun. So there's a lot of disasters. I need to cut that. Don't get me wrong, Liv Morgan well-deserved win yun ng Money in the Bank. Pero ngayon, mag-uupit siya against Ronda Rousey. Fresh Ronda Rousey. And if the case is, number 1, Liv will retain clear. That's 5% lang. You know, Liv Morgan is a better wrestler over Ronda, but Ronda is a better fighter. That's the mindset dapat eh. Mas magaling fighter si Ronda, mas magaling wrestler si Liv. Pero if we're going to talk about something na hindi natin na-expect, they should let Liv win this match. And I'm going to predict Liv for this match. For sure. I'm going to pick Liv Morgan for this match. And I would love to see Ronda turn heel and beating the living hell out of Liv Morgan, or maybe someone who will return, maybe at SummerSlam, maybe Charlotte, maybe Bayley. There's a lot of speculations right now. Pero Ronda Liv, I'm gonna go with Liv on this one. Then sudden turn by Ronda Rousey. Bang! That's a banger for sure. Then ano pa? So let's talk about Bianca Belair versus Becky Lynch for the Raw Women's Championship. So, this is the end of the Bianca 1 year, yung 1 year road to, recovery or yung comeback story niya kuno. And it will end with Bianca retaining the women's title. That's for sure. I love Becky, don't get me wrong. Pero it's Bianca's time, okay? Bianca is growing on me. Yes, nag-grow na siya sa akin. Pero it's so nice to see Becky challenging Bianca. Pero it should be on Bianca's style pa din. Dapat retain to, no doubt. Sobrang angas nun. For sure naman eh. But regardless, they're going to give us a banger match for sure. Ito, let's go. The Usos versus Street Profits with Jeff Jarrett. Jeff. Fuck it, I'm kidding. Hindi naman ako siya. Okay? So, Jeff Jarrett as the special guest referee for the WWE Undisputed Tag Team titles. If they want to see the fans happy, Profits needs the win. Divers change yun, for sure. Imagine that. If Usos wins this match, well, di rin ako malulungkot. But booking-wise, they should drop the belts. It's too long to see them hold the belts. It's time for them to drop the belts na. And drop the unification crap. Yeah. Then, let Profits run the crowd. Sobrang over din ng Profit. Sobrang over ng Usos. Pero there's a factor din na si Jeff Jarrett. Ito, yan. So, alam natin lahat, especially TNA viewers, na si Jeff Jarrett, utak yan eh, tuso yan eh. If may opportunity, he will take it eh. Ganon din siya sa NWA or Impact title runs niya. Everything na pwede niya matik. Fuck. What's wrong with this shit? Ayun. So, kung may opportunity na he can take, iti-take niya yun. Kasi he's Jeff Jarrett and ginagawa niya yun for granted. On his gimmick, of course. Pero, I can see Jeff Jarrett doing the right thing and turning babyface or help Profits gets the win. Para makuha niya yung panalo. Or maybe Usos, pwede din naman na bayaran nila si Jarrett, then they're going to let Usos win with the help of Jeff Jarrett. Pero ang sure ako dito, wala si Jeff Jarrett sa decision. ang weird doon. Pero I'm sure wala si Jeff Jarrett sa decision. There's a new referee running to the ring. Mas malalang chaos yun. Usos gets the win. Ito lang. I'm going to predict Profits, but for sure, it's going to go with the Profit or the Usos. Finally, the main event. It's a hard to predict match. Roman Reigns versus Brock Lesnar. Last man standing, last match ever. And it's gonna be at SummerSlam. Woo! There's a lot of disasters on this week's episode. I'm going to repeat it. So, in the main event, it's Roman Reigns versus Brock Lesnar. Last match ever for the last time ever. And for the undisputed WWE Universal Championship. Okay. So, to see Roman win, it's a may sense yun eh. Logical na yun. Roman Reigns will win the match over Brock. Pero what if Brock wins and Theory suddenly cashes in and ends the night with Theory winning the both belts? Is that good for all of you? Yes. Maganda ba yun? Oo. I'm sure it's a good idea. But, sorry. It's a good idea, oo. Pero, ang sure lang ako is maybe if Brock wins, they should split the unification crap and let Brock hold the WWE Championship or Universal Championship. Like, there's a lot of talents fighting for it sa roster right now. And I don't think the title or lacking of wood championship means something to them. And since there's a Triple H takeover na, he should drop the unification crap on this or Brock should drop the crap. So Brock Lesnar, I want to see him win on this. Pero a logical dito is Roman might win this match for the last time. It's a safe booking and the safe predict. Sobrang safe niya to predict at the same time. Risky kasi andyan si Theory. Theory is teasing that he will cash in either on Brock and Roman. And eventually winning or losing. Ano lang naman. So, I see him lose talaga as the cash in goes. Pero, anyone but Roman and Brock talaga eh. Pero ito, serious na to. I'm seeing Brock win clean, but Roman pa din to eh. Sobrang simple lang. Roman Reigns might win the undisputed title in a controversial way na hindi maintindihan agad ng fans. Ganon yung magiging aspect ko on this. So, yeah. There's a lot of factors to check on Brock Roman. Pero ito yung definitely dapat chine-check ng universe about this win. Sure naman ako dyan. There's a lot of factors going on. I'm going to pick Roman. Roman will always be Roman. Roman always wins. But ayun, Roman Reigns will win this undisputed title match. Yan. So that's my prediction. Kinda hard to predict this main event. Let me know your predictions on this week's episode of the podcast. And let me know your predictions on our social media platforms at the THEMTGSHOWPOD or on our Discord, Sampang Collective. Ayan. So let's talk about AEW Ring of Honor now. So magda-divert na tayo sa AEW at Ring of Honor. First, let's talk about the AEW Trios Tag Team title. So they launched a Trios Tag titles. Ah boy, AEW, I hate you for doing this crap. Ayun, so meron tournament. There's gonna be a tournament with the finals will be revealed or will be crowned at AEW All Out on September. Marami pang araw para ma-determine kung sino yung magiging Trios Tag Champions. But let's see in the next few days bago ako mag-predict. Ayun, so kung nakita niyo yung belt, of course, you should. Pero I love the belts. I love these belts. Kung di nyo pa nakikita, panoorin nyo na yung Dynamite. You should watch this week's Dynamite regardless. Then, ayun. So, next, we got a FTW Championship change. So, it's Ricky Starks versus Hook. Doon tayo mag-focus. So, Hook won the FTW title. Then, eventually, nag-split na yung Team Taz with Powerhouse Hobbs attacking Ricky Starks. Sobrang over na ni Ricky at this point. And, let's see him doing solo. Sobrang big opportunity nito. It's gonna be a big bang for AEW. And a big brilliant turn. Kaya unexpected din, by the way. Sobrang unexpected nung naging heel turn na to ni Ricky Starks. Pero let's see kung ano pa yung pwedeng mangyari o pwede nila mabook about Ricky Starks. Then, let's talk about Jungle Boy, my boy. I love this guy. Sobrang over na to talaga sa crowd. And there's a lot of bullshit that he say on Christian Cage. There's a lot of talk between those two, and I must say na for sure ang all out na to. They're building up all out feud. Kasi mukhang magaling sila magpabitin. But yun, for sure we're gonna get to all out. And yeah. Lastly, we're going to talk about John Moxley, Rush, and Bryan Danielson, Daniel Garcia. By the way, Moxley, Mox tuloy. John Moxley and Rush fighting. That's a well-rounded match. I love those guys, don't get me wrong, but sobrang well-deserved ito. I see Rush winning title again, but not today. And sobrang angas ito. I love Rush actually. After of the match, Mox versus Rush, Chris Jericho challenged John Moxley in the title match, which is set for 2 weeks sa Quick of the Quick, whatever ko ng pangalan nun. Quick in the Lake ba? Quick on the Lake. Quick. Mas whatever. I'm so fucking pissed on that name, by the way. Basta Dynamite. In 2 weeks, then John Moxley accepted the challenge and it's all good. Good na yun. Ganun na yun. Official na yun for 2 weeks time. Then in the main event, Bryan Danielson versus Daniel Garcia. I love this match. Ang ganda nung unexpected finish. Sobrang unexpected nung finish nito nila Daniel at di Danielson. I love the finish. Jake Hager distracting Danielson. Then, wow. I love the finish right there. Sharpshooter. Then, bang! That's the finish right there. Sasabihin ko to ulit. Sasabi ko na to noong Sunday sa Death Before Dishonor. But, seeing JS members competing is so much better than their leader itself. And it's so fucking funny. Okay. So, yan lang. Basically, for our AEW talk, magdadiverse na tayo sa AEW, sa Ring of Honor, AEW, on sa Death Before Dishonor. We're going to do a review. Then, our picks of the week. But first, let's talk about Shopee. So, again, Shopee, parating na rin yung payday sale on July 30. And if you want to support the podcast on Shopee, you can use my link, podlink.co/bhx. Again, that's podlink.co/bhx. It's gonna be a long and big help for me if you want to support the podcast without no extra cost. Done. Now, so yun, we're going to take our next commercial break and let's check our bunkmates here on Bunk Collective.
Get in, loser. We're going shopping.
I can't. I'm sick.
Weh, yung tataa.
Boo, you whore. Di-lockdown pa rin.
Huh? 2021 na.
So, anong gagawin natin?
Eh di, magstay na lang sa house at makinig sa Cha-Astrology, the podcast. With new episodes every Tuesday on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and Google Podcasts.
Hey everyone, this is Mo Twister, and you're listening to the Kingdom Podcast with the voice, DJ Yuki.
That was the OG, Mo Twister, promoting this podcast. If you like Korean pop culture, or know someone who does, then get into it, and visit our Facebook, Twitter and Instagram pages at the Kingdom Pod PH.
We're proud to tell you that this is one of the premier shows to go to for your weekly dose of K-pop. So drop everything and listen to the Kingdom Podcast. Available in all your podcast streaming platforms.
Join us!
Ayun. So, welcome back to the show. Let's talk about Death Before Dishonor now. So, hindi naman ito mahabang talk, no? But we should talk about Death Before Dishonor. First, let's talk about the ROH title, Claudio Castagnoli versus Jonathan Gresham. I love the title change. Yes. Claudio deserves the win. Ayun, so konting background check sa mga hindi nanonood ng Ring of Honor. So, si Prince Nana ay binili na yung Tully Blanchard's Enterprise. So, he bought and now part na siya noong stable ni, ni Prince Nana. So, the whole stable is now on Prince Nana's possession. Kasama yan sila Brian Cage and many more. Hindi ko sure kung yung mga names sila doon. Pero, Siya na yung may-ari ng stable. According to some sources, si Tully Blanchard, ni-write off na nila on this pay-per-view. So, the question here is if nang nila i-write off, ba't na nila dinebut tong stable ng Supercard? Diba, Supercard lang din nag-debut. Then suddenly, there's a change. Like, what the fuck is going on? Sobrang sadden ng change na do. Sobrang sadden as in. Kung may sadden pa sa sadden, ito yun. I love hindi naman sa gusto ko, pero yung sadden change na to, it's sobrang sadden. To see the stable changes, I hear it most of the time. But ito, inoobserbahan pa natin kung ano yung pwedeng mangyari on the future stable. Or kung ano yung magiging future ng stable, di ba? Then, regardless, so si Gresham naman, in the other hand, shinit niya daw si Tony Khan after of the pay-per-view. Doon, backstage. So, nagmurahan sila ni Gil Gresham. Di pa natin alam kung ano yung updates about him leaving AEW ROH. Pero bibigyan pa namin kayo ng updates in the next few days or weeks about Jonathan Gresham. Then, let's talk about the 6-man tag titles of Ring of Honor. So, it's Righteous versus Dalton Castle and the Boys. Ito lang naobserbahan ko. So, nabalik nila yung ROH 6-man tag. Yes, we know it's a different title. So, ba't nila nag-introduce din sila ng 6-man tag sa AEW? Like, they can defend this on both companies. Sobrang labo na we know AEW bigger, pero yung ROH kasi, napagkasama nga nila di ba? Napagkasama nga nila yung both companies Tapos ganito, like, oh, fuck, what the hell is going on? Pero regardless, I love this 6-man tag title match. Sobrang weird nung win nila Dalton. We know na may impact guy pa doon sa Righteous. But yeah. So, well-deserved win. Tapos, let's talk about the pure title between Wheeler Yuta and Daniel Garcia. That's a banger shit. You should watch this match. You should watch this shit. This shit pulls the roof of the arena on the higher level. Like, binutas na nilang dalawa yung bubok after of this match. And I love to see them fight for that. Well-deserved match. Well-deserved win for Wheeler Yuta. And sobrang amazing. I love the uniqueness of this match. Ito, personally, this is not my first time watching a Ring of Honor pure title match or pure match. Pero this is my first Ring of Honor full pay-per-view. For sure, linawin natin na. But yun, I love this pure title match. I swear to God, this is a good match. Then, Rush versus Dragon Lee. Man, so fucking good to watch. Ito yung na-add last minute. But parang hindi siya last minute match up. Mas better pa dun sa ibang matches ng card na to. I love this shit. This is such good shit. And, ayun, mamaya pag-usapan natin yung ratings. Then, Mercedes Martinez versus Serena Deeb. First question, ba't nga ba hindi pa dinarap yung women's tag titles? I'm expecting a title change here, to be honest. Nag-expect ako ng putang ng title change on this pay-per-view. Like, I'm expecting Serena to win. Tapos suddenly, hindi. Ang weird ito. I'm expecting a win for Serena, then, fucking hell. Why? Why all the sudden? Yan lang naman. Kini-question ko lang bakit. Dapat na yan, nalo na dito si Serena . Then, the ROH TV title, I hate the build on dispute, especially Satnam Singh. Everyone hates Satnam Singh. Then, sobrang labo ng build pati. I know si Jay Lethal is a OG ROH guy. Same with Joe. Then, the dispute right now, shit. This is shit. But the match, well, sobrang ganda ng execution ng match. I love this match. And how it goes, I love this match. Well-deserved win, by the way, by Joe. Then, main event. It's the tag titles, 2 out of 3 falls, FTR, Briscoes. And I must say, I love this match. Sobrang bitin. No, 43 minutes. Hell, you should get an Iron Man next. Oh boy, this is hell, by the way. And ang genius no finish, I swear. If you watch Death Before Dishonor, you know you're gonna love this match specifically. And the end of Death Before Dishonor, nakikita natin Claudio Castagnoli and Wheeler Yuta. Hindi rin nila na-explain yung end. Kung para saan ba. Probably this Saturday may explain nila yun sa Rampage. Let's see kung ano yung magiging explanation nila for that. Now, well, we're going to get explanations though. Okay. So basically, that's my small thought recap on That Before Dishonor. Hindi ko na pinahaba because there's a lot of SummerSlam going on in WWE. So we're going to do the verdict of this pay-per-view. ROH title is 4. Medyo bitin pa nga ako. I want to see them more. Then the 6-man tag titles 3. The pure title is 5. The Rush Lee is 4. Then Mercedes Serena Deeb is 3. The ROH title is 3. ROH TV is 3. Then the tag titles is 5.5 over 5. Like hell, you should watch this match. And ayun, so picks of the week natin. So the superstar of the week is Claudio Castagnoli, well-deserved win. Then the woman of the week is Cora Jade, back to back. Baka nga mag-3-pit pa to. No, hindi siya mag-3-pit for sure since there's SummerSlam. Then our match of the week is FTR Briscoes from Death Before Dishonor. If you want to watch it, you should watch this pay-per-view. Yeah. At ako nag-rap. Ayun, if you want to watch Death Before Dishonor is available on Fight TV internationally, including US. No? So, yeah, that's it for our episode of the podcast. If you want to support the podcast, and of course, please follow the podcast on all of the social media platforms, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Twitch, and on TikTok. And of course, our YouTube channel, the MPA Show Podcast, or the MPA Show Pod on social media. Then you can listen to every episode of the podcast every Fridays on your favorite podcast platforms and on the podcast app, which is available on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and the rest of the podcast platforms. And on the podcast app, you can listen to the podcast app for free. Download them. Ayun. Baka naman. I-rate nyo naman yung podcast ko. 5 stars, 6 in Tokyo Dome. Then, ayun. Support Bank Collective. Bank Collective is our network, of course. We support our network by visiting our website, thebankph.com. Support us on social media at thebankph, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Twitch, TikTok, and on YouTube, of course, the Bank Collective. And please join our Discord, dsc.gg. Tama ba? dsc.gg/bank. And yung ating social media platforms on Twitter, Instagram at AG Penera. And that's pretty much it for this week's episode of the podcast. Super stacked episode of the podcast. Stay safe, stay reso. See you on SummerSlam. And yeah, see you on the next episode. Peace. We're out.